你好，大家好。In the morning, we visit the Kema pumping station. That is the national government, and this is the Osaka prefecture, local government, prefecture, local government.
安藤と申します。よろしくお願いします。
安藤さん。
はい。で、あと佐藤と言います。
佐藤。
ちょっとパンフレットをお配りするので回していただいて、一緒に
Please distribute. 英語のものご用意いただいてありがとうございます。
日本語です。やっぱりしかない。
皆さんが今日来ていただいている寝屋川流域って言います。で、その寝屋川流域っていうのはどういうところなのかっていう特徴ですね。それを
near river is okay. We are down here. So this place is included in this river basin area. So in the morning we mentioned this area.
はい、いいですか。
Yeah, so this near river basin has a very how to say some characteristics, unique characteristics.
寝屋川流域はこれ北に淀川、淀リバーで、南に大和川、大和川リバーで、東側に生駒山地ですね。で、あと、西側に大阪城のある上町台地ですね。一応ここに囲まれたところになります。で、流域のこの人口っていうのがこれ270万人なので、大阪府が大体880万人なので、大体やっぱり3割ぐらいの人がこの流域の中に住んでいるというのがあります。で、この、こっち側が北側になるんですけど、この断面がこれになります。で、この方向、東西方向がこの断面になります。で、見てる通り川ですね。淀川と大和川よりも低い土地。で、生駒山と上町台地ですね。こういう高い山に囲まれた土地ということで、非常に低い土地っていうのが出会い。
Yeah, this near river basin is surrounded by the higher places. Here is the Yodo River, and this is the Yamato River. These two rivers are relatively big in Japan. And these two rivers are managed by the national government. And in the east, there is mountainous area. And here is a little bit higher places. And if you see the cross section of this along this line, this figure shows. You know the Yamato River here and the Yodo River here. And this is the most highest places. And residential area is lower than this floodwater level here. And also the city urban rivers, near river, Daini near river, Hirano river, the floodwater level of these urban rivers are even higher than residential area. And also along this line, this is elevation, so Ikoma mountainous area is of course higher. And along this Uemachi higher highland, this is the castle of Osaka castle here. So this along this line, the elevation is higher. So that means this area is surrounded by higher places. So this is the lowest point. So that's why we mentioned that the only outlet of this river basin area is here. This is only one outlet. So all the flood water is concentrated here. So it is very difficult to drain.
一応流幕一箇所という
ちょっと先走っちゃいました。
はい。でそれで今先生おっしゃったそういうちょっと条件の悪い土地なのでこの総合治水ですよね。これっていうのはどういう対策をしているかというと、ここにある、ね、流す施設フローですね。流す施設ということで、河川ですね。川を排水する。であと教育地下河川トンネルを掘る。であと分水路違うところからこう水を出すですね。 であと、降った雨をですね貯める施設ということで今日も行けますけど遊水池で、あとここ木なんですけど流域調節池で、あとは流域対応、一応こういう整備をですねやっています。
This near Gawa river basin, this river basin area is designated as the Saigodouri comprehensive flood control strategies. You can understand what this means, of course. And there are those strategies can be divided into two parts. One is diversion channels, and so river improvement, underground tunnel, and diversion channel. And another one is storage facility. So retarding basin and underground regulating pond, and this is a small scale storage tanks for each individual housing sources.
で、この水の対応として、一つ目がね、これ河川改修ですね。で、これが改修する前の川です。こういう細いですよね。こういう。で、これを河川改修で、これ広いですよね。ですから川幅を広げて、まあ言ったら水を流れやすくするっていうのが河川改修になります。
First one is river improvement. You can see one river is flowing in this direction here, and here is another river channel. Two very small channels were located here, and after this improvement, these two channels were unified, and more wide channel was constructed newly here.
で、次が今日行く入水池もあるんですけれども、一つ目が、分水路ですね。で、この分水路というのは、今、寝屋川流域では分水路、一つはここの下流のこの狭排水機場で、あと、ここに大間排水機場という2つの分水路があります。でこれは大雨が降った時にこの寝屋川のところに降って川に集まった水を淀川淀リバーですね、淀川に排水する。要はここに水がたくさん集まらないように淀川にも排水することでここに集まる水の量を減らすというのが分水路。
白北川がその分水路っていうことでよろしいでしょうか。
ここからも出しますけども、放水路ですね。ですからこれとあとここですね。ここの排水機場で出すと、あとこの寝屋川導水この導水から水を。
In order to drain the flood water within this river basin area, this diversion channel and this diversion channel newly constructed, and we visited there, Kema pumping station, and here is another pumping station, Taima pumping station. So the flood water in this river basin area is drained through this diversion channel and drained from this pumping station to the Kyoto River. There are two diversion channels here and here.
で、遊水池なんですけども、遊水池は寝屋川流域では、ここに1箇所ですね。で、あと、教育寝屋川治水路で、あと、花園ラグビー場ですね。そこにある遊水池ですね。で、あと、恩地川治水緑地。一応全部で、4つ。で、あと計画で法税上流のところに1箇所全部で5箇所あります。で遊水池っていうのは川のそばにあります。川のそばにあります。で雨が降ると川にたくさん水が流れてくるので、下流にこう水が集まる行かないようにこの 流水池で水を取って貯留するそういう施設になります。で
ここまで先生話してる。
Another one is metallic basin. You know the function, the mechanism of this metallic basin. Yeah, in this river basin area, there are 5 metallic basins, including this is not completed under planning. But there are 5 metallic basins. So this is an example, one of them. This is usually used as the park, and next to the river. And if the water level rise up of this river, the part of this water is flows into this park. So just like this. So in that way, the load, the flood discharge can be decreased along this river channel. So this is a retarding basin. You have a lot of retarding basin in China. Later we will visit. Yes, later.
ただ次はじゃあ地下河川で、地下河川は、寝屋川流域では2つあります。これが北側ですね。北部地下河川、この地下河川。あともう一つが南側にある南部地下河川というのがあります。で、地下河川の仕組みなんですけど、ここに降った雨が、一旦下水に流れます。下水に流れます。で、雨がたくさんすると下水の管の中がいっぱいになります。で、たくさんこういっぱい入ってくると浸水ですね。これがもう今いっぱいいっぱいになって地上で浸水が発生します。それを防ぐために下水道では増補管線、下水管をもう一つ作ります。で、さらに下水でもう一つ作った管、これもいっぱいいっぱいになったときにこの地下河川に水が入るようになります。
So in this river basin area, there are 2 underground tunnels. One is north tunnel, and another one is south tunnel. And this is the mechanism of underground tunnel. This is the underground tunnel. So you know the stormwater on the ground surface is collected to the sewer pipe networks. And if the sewer pipe networks is full of water, a part of that water is drained to another pipe. And this is the additional sewer pipe. And if this kind of additional pipe is also full of water, and that water is partially drained through this underground tunnel.
で、その地下河川は、水が集まってこう流れていくと、この一番下流側のところ、下流がこれも下流側のところですね。ここにポンプ場があって、でこのポンプ場から、川にですね集まってきた水を排水します。で、今現在はまだこの点線のところ、ここはまだできてなくて、今現在は、この地下のトンネルのところに水をためる、そういう貯水の機能として運用しています。
At the completion of this underground tunnel, at the downstream end of this tunnel, here is pumping station. So the collected water is pumped up to this or the other river or this river. But this part is not completed yet. So now this part is already completed. So the water is stored here. So this part is used for the storage tank, very big storage tank.
で、今そのタンクの貯留量が、この北の国地下火水で20万で、南側の地下火水で63万、はい、それだけなんです。
Capacity of North Tunnel is 200,000 cubic meters, and southern part South Tunnel is 630,000 cubic meters.
就它是按照1、2、4、6、3、第3。
Yes, we will visit here, upstream shaft tunnel. Here, shaft tunnel.
じゃあ最後。そしたら、あと最後ですね、最後流域調節池ですね。で、この流域調節池っていうのは、ここにありますけれども、地下に水をためる、言ったら空間をですね、作っているということで、雨が降ったときに、先ほどの地下河川と同じように、水が下水に集まります。下水水に集まります。それを一時的に水を取って、この調節池にためるということで、要はこの河川ですね、川に入ってくる水の量をですね、減らす、そういう役割になっています。で、この青い丸、これが今、流域調節池として整備が終わっているところになります。で、流域の中で24、この調節池が起きています。
So this is the underground regulating pond. You can imagine this kind of tank, underground tank. And similarly, a part of the water within the sewer pipe is drained to this kind of underground regulating pond. So that water is stored, temporarily stored here. And within this river basin area, totally 24 regulating ponds have been completed. That's right. タンクのサイズは違いでしょうか。
ちょっと場所によっていろいろなんですが、
It's different from place to place.
Around 30,000 cubic ton. Around.
大阪湾の高さ見ていただいて分かるんですけども、大阪湾のこちらになっていて、大体この辺りまで大阪湾21キロぐらいのところぐらいまで潮の干満の影響を受けて非常に水の流れにそういう。
This area is very low and flat, and up to here, around here, 21 kilometers from sea level, the effect of the tidal effect reached here.
基本的には直接川に流れ込まない下水道のポンプで川に流す。違って4分の3をして。
Usually, the rainwater, if the rainfall, if it happens, that water is collected naturally flow down the rivers due to the gravity force. But this area, the elevation is very low, so the rainwater should be collected to straw pipes. And finally, at the downstream end, that water, collected water, must be pumped up to the river. So those raw area is accounts for 3/4, 75% of this area. 75%. Pump up is necessary. Pump up is necessary. 75% of this river basin area. very unusual. So in this river basin, we needed to make so many kinds of strategies. Just like regarding basins and underground tunnels, underground regulating ponds. We needed to make such due to its topography, characteristics of this topography, the water is not drained in the river.
Every year, about 75% of the water should be pumped out. Already that.
In the case of the heavy rain, yes.
Already finished or just to
75% is in the area.
the area
75% of area.
should be pumped.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
我们叫内水，内水，内水。
非常に高い堤防が作られています。
This is the embankment of the river. You can imagine if the rainfall, the water cannot go down into the river. Are there any questions?
流域調整池です。で、皆さんが出るところは赤の島。これは東方側の跡地。
今中学。
中学。高校の跡地を利用して、で、この調整池のところで、この赤い線のゲートライン、これが下水管、下水の管理です。で、この辺りに降った雨は、この下水管ですね。この下水管の道路ですね。で、この調整池のところに水をためるで、この、下のところにちょうど皆さんがですね、これ堀口市で、その中の、この青色のところが、この調整池で、浸水対策として、言うたら調整池ができることによって浸水を減らすことができる。はい。これは私ですね、3分で、この調整池に水が溜まってから、今度この水を排して水を出す必要があります。で、その水は、ホームで振り上げて、ここに水路、地下になるんですけど、この地下のこの水路に排水する。
And we are now here. Now this is the underground regulating pond. Underground tank. And this red line means the swap pipe. So the rainwater around here is collected to this swap pipe, and part of rainwater is drained and collected to this regulating pond, underground regulating pond. And after the rainfall event stopped, the collected water is drained to another water channel. Here is one underground, 地下ですね。はい、underground water channel here. And this map is the Moriguchi city, local city. This yellow color delineated area is Moriguchi city area. And this is our this location, regulating pond. And this blue line delineated area is the catchment area. And in addition, disaster can be mitigated by constructing this regulating pond in this area. That is the 1/3 of this Moriguchi city.
で、一応この水路は部屋側に分離していて、部屋側にあります。で、これ調整池のイラストです。で、皆さんが で61名、東大で61名ですから、正方形で深さがですね、22秒だから61、61、22の力ですね、が水で、水のためる容量が、全部4万です。で、ここの近くこのタンクですね、タンクで、3万です。あと、先ほどの止水管、レッドライン、ここで4000。で、工事は、20メートルですから、今から5年前に完成しました。
Yeah, this is the illustration of this regulating pond. We are now here in this building. So below us, this big tank is street below us, and the size is 61.2 meter, 61.2 meter, and 22 meter depth. And so the total capacity is 40,000 cubic meters, including this pond, 36,000 cubic meters, and this pipe. Within this pipe, 4,000 cubic meters, totally 40,000. This panel shows the mitigation effect of those facilities. You can see that this is the underground tunnel stored like this, and this is the retarding basin. This is the event of last year. July last year. And so much water, flood water is stored in this underground underground tunnel and retarding basins. And if we compare the similar flood event in 1995, we had a similar scale of rainfall event. And at the time, more than 2,000 houses were inundated. But last year, only three houses were inundated. So we can see the clear, obvious mitigation effect. Of the regulating pond.
We use water every day, so how did we today?
Wastewater.
Yeah,
Wastewater.
wastewater.
The water in the sewage, I mean,
Sure.
the wastewater, what does it mean?
Mean every day we will use water to wash clothes.
The water in the sewage.
Yeah.
It is divided into the two sections. Usually, without a heavy rain, the sewage system can clean up and then drain into the river. But in the case of the heavy rain, the pipe is not divided into the two sections of the draining of the rain and the sewage, so it can be combined. So usually, generally speaking, the water in the river in the Osaka is very dirty.
So usually there are separate systems.
For the
Other than Osaka or newly constructed storage system, but in Osaka, in the case of Osaka or Tokyo, relatively old one is combined system.
it's very hard. Like your cities, you have the 3,800 years of history. Okay, your city, Wuhan.
Wuhan, yeah.
가 오른쪽 고관이에요. 쯔지 카라지 해.
网上太难了。
So you're Chinese, you know.
我自己学了3年半了，但是我还没有很多都会还没有。
已经很好了，也很好。
皆さんが今来てるのがちょうど水が溜まるところですね。ここにも水が溜まります。水溜まるところで、皆さんの近くにこれですね。これが流入ゲートですね。ゲートになります。で、下の部分は今このゲートがこれ先生。これ今閉まってます。で、今日は見学のために閉めてるんですけど、普段はこのゲートが上に開いてます。はい、で、このゲートの先に管ですよね。はい、レッドライン管があって、下水から水がこの調整池に入ってきます。で、これと同じものがもう一つ、もう2箇所あります。これがゲート。
流入がもう1箇所です。
流入がもう1箇所と、ここ2箇所。通常
Yeah, this is the inlet gate.
Inlet gate.
So now the gate is closed for our safety.
对。
Usually this gate is open. And this kind of inlet gate is another one more gate is located this side.
で、このゲートは自動で閉める。で、さっき説明したところにボタンがあって、そのボタンでこれを開けたり閉めたりします。
In the upstairs room, there is some operation system. So if someone pushes the button, this gate is automatically closed.
で、これは普段開いてる状態になります。はい、で、この下水でこの集まった水ですけども、2つのエリアでこの調整池が分かれてます。で、ちょうどこのラインですね。このラインがあるところが一番最初に水が溜まるエリアです。で、あと奥のところに2つ目のエリアです。で、このエリアをこう分けているのは維持管理。は区切りがないとベタって水が溜まってしまうんですけど、掃除とかを確認するために区切りをつけて溜まったところを上げていく。そうです。こういう形で正位置と。自分で見るで、ちょっと真ん中を上げていきます。
This storage area is divided into two parts. So this side, the firstly is stored, water is stored. You can imagine that if the small scale of flood occurred, only this side is used. If the big flood occurred, so both sides is stored. That is for maintenance, easy maintenance.
Yeah.
The cheaper, the better.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right. So that is separate. And if the water fully stored in this side, the water overflowed, and over there. And the straw will start to be stored. Another.
ここにも壁があります。こちら側に水を置いておく。最後までですね。はい。にゲート、それでここにゲート、その位置にゲート。You can find a lot of gates. Dash for.
And water is also stored in this side, And after the rainfall event stops, the water is drained this side first. And the stored water in this side is finally drained. Finally, these all the gates opened instantly, and all the water is flushed the sediment. In the,
Yes, with a lot of dirt.
Yes. Yeah.
Once more again, 气化. Oh, that's hard to read that character. But I just ask you, 汉语什么说? Maybe the letters are something different from ours. This is the old letter. Now you, in your Chinese vocabulary, how do you say this kind of concept? Planning height of this basin.
I think it's
Same? Ah.
to mark the line, the maximum line.
Okay. 没事没事，我是傻瓜。Somebody said this is the underground palace. Underground palace means the palace. Palace. So I said that 皇上在哪？昏出来了，是昏出。白汉考试。走吧。我们大阪汉水湾盖完烧。通勤人不一样的，你们觉得一样的，跟北京人不一样的，对不对？很厉害。Yes.
The water into the river. However, the water level is high in the river. So how to do this?
The very important thing is the river itself has the capacity. The planning goal is such a rainfall which will occur once at 200 years. That's Yodo River. And to keep it safely, the water has to keep here around the 24 hours. And that context leads us to, we have the necessity of the 270,000 cubic meters in this basin, including not only this kind of facility, but also the wind, the river, or the three facilities we have all in spring. Okay. And if we keep the water here, the Yodo River is safe enough to drain. Another water coming from the Kyoto or another side.
$36,000 cubic meters is capacity of this pond. All the water can be drained in 24 hours. Okay. 36,000.
So they can have the capacity of the Yodo River. Everyone.
还没成品。
スポンジ。スポンジ。
without construction of the hardware, it's worthwhile to keep these such places to absorb the waters.
Oh, yeah.